Hello and welcome to Tech Trails with Ratish. This is the Learning by Doing series, episode 2. In this episode, we are going to see how to create an empty Optimizely CMS website, and we'll see a step-by-step process of setting up a simple homepage on the website to get started. So we will create an empty Optimizely CMS website using Visual Studio. We will build and run that website and also look at how to set up the admin credentials initially. And once the admin credentials are set up, we'll also look at the detailed steps required to set up a simple homepage with just title and description. So let's begin with the first step, creating an empty website. So let's begin by opening up Visual Studio. I have Visual Studio 2022 Community Edition. So I'm going to create a new project. So I select create a new project from here. So once that is selected, you can see the Optimizely templates are already present. So you can choose Optimizely CMS template from here. Choose this and click on next. So once this is chosen, you can give a project name. I name it as Taste Trail, and I can create in this location. I just go and create a new folder for myself, and I call it Taste Trail as well. So once this is created, you can select that particular folder. You can also choose to place a solution file in the same directory, right? So once this is an optional step, this is up to your preference. So once this is done, you can create click on next, right? This is for setting up the SA database account. We are not using that right now, so click on create here. We'll leave it as default. Click on create. It will take a few seconds to set up the entire project. Right. So it has created the empty project, and it is trying to restore all the nugget packages which are required, as you can see here. So now that seems to be ready. So you get this default skeleton project that is set up, which has the basic things necessary. So now what we can do is just do a build here. I'm going to build menu and say build solution. So it starts the build. It's going to take a few seconds as it is the first time. Yeah, so the build is completed. So I'm just going to quickly run this. Yeah, the build was successfully completed, so it's trying to run the project now. So you can see a console has come up already. This is going to take few seconds. Right, as you can see, the initialization has started. Wonderful. Let's just open up a browser for me with localhost 5000. So I should see a page where I can set up the admin credentials. Yeah, perfect. So it says because it's the first time, it is asking me to register an admin account. So I'm going to keep the username as admin, and I'm going to quickly set up my password. Sorry. Right, I have my email address and I have my password here. So that's set up. I'm going to click on create. Yeah, so this is expected because this was an empty website, and we certainly don't have a start page or a home page configured yet. So it is redirecting me to the home page, but since the home page does not exist, it is showing me a 404 error, but the admin credentials are set up. So in order to verify that, I can quickly go to the admin interface by going through the URL localhost 5000 episerver/cms. So once I hit this URL, I should be able, it will show me the Optimizely admin interface or the content authoring interface. So here I should be able to see there's a root node, but there is no start page or anything which is set up. I can go to settings and go to manage websites, and here you see there are no websites that are being set up. So that's the reason you're seeing a 404 page. Yeah, so this completes our first step, which is creating an empty website using Visual Studio and Optimizely CMS empty website template. And also we have built and run the website, and we were able to successfully set up the admin credentials as well, and we were able to successfully check if the setup was okay by going into the episerver CMS interface. So now that we have created our empty website and set up admin credentials, let us start by setting up the home page. So in order to do that, first we'll start creating models. Basically, there are two different models that are required for creating the home page. The first one is the base page type. This is the common base class which can be inherited by all the pages of the website. So this will contain properties like SEO and other things. The second class would be for the properties of the home page itself. So we will call this model as the start page model. So let's start creating the models. So now I'm going to create a folder for holding all the models that are required. So I'm going to create a new folder and call this as models. Since these models are related to page or page types, I'm going to create a subfolder under these models, and I'm going to call this as pages, and I'm going to create another folder under this pages to hold my base model, and I'll call this folder as base. So now the folder structure is ready. So let's start creating the models that are required. So the first model is the base model. So under the base folder, I'm going to right click and create a new class. So I'm going to call this class as site page data. Right, so call this as site page data.cs and click on add. So now this creates a class here. So now I'm going to create this using the statements to inherit all the libraries that are required. So I would need, let's say, an episerver core library, right? And I would need let's say episerver specialized properties. We may not use this right now, but we'll just inherit and keep it ready. And let's say I might need data annotations for sure, because we are going to use annotations. So from system component model data annotations library, so those three are inherited for now. Since this is a base model, and we are not going to create any page types using the base model itself, so this will not be a concrete class, so it will be an abstract class instead. So I'm going to make this an abstract. So make this as an abstract class, and this has to inherit from page data, which is nothing but EP servers, from the core library EP servers page data. So this is how EP server knows that this is one of the page data types. So you inherit from site core page EP server page data. So once this is done, you create all the properties that are required. So I'm going to create a property called as meta title and meta description, because these are for SEO related properties, and this is a base class, and this class would be inherited for all the page types. So I'm going to name this as public virtual, it's a string, and I'm going to call this property as meta title, right? And then there's a get set method, and I'm going to decorate this with a couple of things. One, I have to make it culture specific, so make this as culture specific, and secondly I have to set the display properties. So make this as a display annotation. The properties that I want to set is obviously name. So name, I would name it as meta title again, right? And it would belong to a group called SEO. So I would say group name would be SEO, right? And I will have another property for ordering this field. So I would call it as order, and set the default value to 10. So these are the display annotations that are required. I'm now just going to copy this whole thing and create another property. I'm just going to rename this meta title as meta description, and same thing in the annotation as well. Make this as meta description and change the order to 20. So once this is done, my base type, which is called site page data, is created with two properties. It's an abstract class. So one model is created. Let's create the other model, the important model for the home page itself. So under pages directory, I'm going to create another class. So I'm going to call this class as start page, right? I'm going to call this as start page.cs. I'm going to click create. So once this is created, again the same thing, I'm going back to this, copy all the using statements from there. Still have the same using statements here, and this is going to be a public class because this is a concrete type, and we are going to create a home page based on this type, so we can leave this as it is. And then it is going to inherit from my base class which I created, which is site page data. So it inherits that model from there, and because it is a concrete class and it's a and Optimizely has to recognize this as a content type, we'll have to annotate this using content type. So I make it as content type, and then I need to have properties like display name property, which I would set it as start page, right? The other important property is GUID. This I'm going to leave it empty for now. Once the actual page type is created in the CMS interface, We will later go and grab the actual GUID from there and update it back here. For now, just leave it blank. The other thing that I need to add is the description. So I'm going to name this as taste trail home page, right? So this annotation at the class level is complete. Now I'm going to add the properties that are required. So I'm going to quickly copy these two properties from here and rename it. So I go to this. So instead of meta title, I'm going to name this as site title, and the group would be, let's say, content. Same thing here for the second property as well, and change this to site title and change this one to site description. Yeah, the other additional thing that I want to do here is add a UI hint, so that Optimizely recognizes the UI hint and shows me a text area for this. So I'm going to add a UI hint for the site description, and the hint that I'm going to use is text area. Right. So with this, my model is, both the models are complete. So as part of this, we have created two different models. One is the base model, which is a super class for all the other models. So you will inherit the base class in all the other page types so that you get the common properties. And then we have created a specific model for the home page, which is called as the start page, and it has title and description properties. Now that the models are successfully created, let's go ahead and create the controller. So the controller that we are going to create will be called as start page controller. This will use MVC to render the page. So in order to create the controller, I'm going to create a new folder to hold the controller. So click on add, click new folder, and I'm going to name this folder as controllers. So under this controller, I'm going to create a new controller, and I'm going to name this as start page controller. Right, I'm going to name this as start page controller. So now it has created a default controller for me. So now there are a couple of things that we need to do. One is inherit the properties, the libraries that are required. So I'm going to say using episerver web MVC library, right, and we also need the models that we created for the home page. So we are going to use the model that we created, which is under taste trial, models, and pages. All the models which are under pages, right? So the using statements are ready now. So the other thing that we need to do is instead of the default MVC controller, we have to use the episerver MVC controller. So remove this controller and instead use page controller, which is episerver specific, and the model that we need to pass is the start page model. So that is one, and for the index method also we will pass the same model as a parameter to make this as a parameterized method, and copy this model from here and make this as current page. So we will have to pass the model into the view as well. So the current page attribute from this method will be passed along to the view as well. Yeah, so with this our controller is complete. So it's a straightforward, very lean kind of a controller. The only thing is we have inherited the episerver web MVC library we have inherited from the page controller. We have set the model as the start page model, and the same model is passed along to the index method through to the view. So in the view we will get this model and then try to render it. Now that the model and controllers are created, the next step is to create the layout and page views required for rendering the page. So for the views, we'll create two different views. One is a layout razor view, which will be used by all the pages on the website to render the view. The second one is the razor view, which is specific to the home page. And also we'll set up a view start CSS so that this layout can be set at a global level, so that all the pages under the website will use this layout for rendering the page. So now let's start creating the views that are required for rendering this. So the first thing, we'll create the folder which are required to hold the views. So I'm going to right click on add new folder. I'm going to call this folder as views, and under this I'm going to create subfolders again. So under this I'm going to create another folder to hold the layouts. So I'm going to put this under a shared folder. So under shared folder I'm going to create another layout folder. So click add again, new folder, and I'm going to rename this as layouts, right? And under this I'm going to create a view. So let's create an empty view for now. Right, and I'm going to name this as underscore layout.cshtml, right? And I'm going to keep this layout straightforward for now. We will enhance it later. So for now I'm just going to use a sample layout like this. Again, this is straightforward. I'm just using the AP server's WebMVC HTML framework here, and I've just added kind of a scaffolding. The important thing to note here is I have the render body under the div container here inside the body, and have a straightforward HTML structure which will act as a layout for me. So this is the first thing. And secondly, I need a view for my home page. So for that, again I'm going to create a new folder under views, and I'm going to call this as start page. So rename this folder as start page, right? And under the start page again click on add, click on new view, and create an empty view and call the name as index.html. Yeah, and the view is again going to be simple for now, nothing fancy. We're just going to print the site title and site description. So for that, again I'm importing using the model here, which is my taste trail model, and I'm trying to get the site title and the description from that model. Yeah. So with this I've created two different razor views. One is the layout, and the other view which is very specific to the home page. One more thing that I need to do is, at a global level I want all the pages to use the layout that I just created. So for that we will set view start HTML so that it becomes a global setting. So under views I'm going to create another view and name this as underscore view start .cshtml. So in this what we are going to do is going to set the layout as the layout that we just created as the default layout for all the pages. So I'm going to use this and set it here, right? I just copied the code so that it's easier. So all that I'm doing here is I'm going to set the layout for the razor, and the path is views shared layouts and underscore layouts HTML, which is what I created now. So with this, this becomes a global setting, and all the renderings or the views will use this layout as default. So with that, we have completed the views. So now that we have created all the building blocks required, like the views, models, and the controller, now the next step is to create a page in the CMS. So basically we'll be doing 3 different steps as part of this. One is create a page in CMS. Second is setting up the manage website or the default website that is required in order to set the start page for the website. And third is we will grab the GUID from the start page type and update that into our code back. So as the first step for creating a page in CMS, we will have to build and run the website. Go to admin console and create a new page under the root using the start page template that we created. And we will fill in all the details that are required, like the site title and description. We will publish the page. So that would be the first step. And the second step would be to go into settings and go to manage website and create a default site. Fill in all the details required, like name, URL, and start page, and also set start page as a starting point for the website. And the third step is to grab the GUID for the start page type. So in order to do that, we'll have to go to the settings, content type, and you will be seeing the start page which is listed. So we can click on the start page content type, go to the details section, and we can copy the GUID. So if you remember, while creating the models, in the annotations we had left the GUID as blank. So now we will copy the actual GUID of the start page type and update the code so that the model gets synchronized and there are no discrepancies. So we can go back to Visual Studio, update this GUID code in the model, and build and run again. So now I'm going to build the solution to see if there are any issues. So the build has started. So the build is in progress. It says there are some errors. So let's try to see. Yeah, there's a typo error here. I'm just going to correct that quickly. Yeah, save that and do the build again. Yeah, so that has succeeded. So, and I'm just going to launch this now. So the initialization has started. It would take few seconds. Perfect. It has completed the initialization process and it is launching the website at localhost 5000. I expect to see a 404 page still. Yeah, perfect. So now Let's go to the EP02 CMS URL. It is asking me to log in. I'm going to log in with my admin credentials. Right, so I'm able to log in now. So as you can see, there's only the root folder, there is no start page here. I'm quickly going to go to the settings and verify whether my content types are appearing. So I go to settings, content types, and I can see the start page here. So go to start page, we will verify all the properties are there. So there is a site title, site description, which we added to the home page under the group content, so that's appearing here. And I can also see a group called as SEO, which was my base page type. So there are again two properties of meta title and meta description, which are also appearing here. So that's perfect. And let's go to details, and you can see it has generated a unique GUID. So I'm just going to copy this GUID, go back to my code base, stop this for time being, and I can go to my models, go to my start page model, and I have the GUID property here. I'm just going to populate this with the GUID that I copied from there, and I'm going to save this, just do a rebuild. Yeah, this is just going to take few seconds. Yeah, rebuild is successful. I'm going to launch this again. Yeah, the initialization has started. Just bear with me for a few more seconds. Yeah, the initialization has started. I should start. Yeah, it's completed. I should be seeing the browser in now. Yes, yeah, the browser has launched. Just give it a few seconds. Yeah, perfect. I see the 404. So now let me go to the admin interface again, log in with my admin credentials. So the next thing that we need to do is create the start page under the root node. So I go to the edit interface, wait for the page to load. Yeah, so now I'm going to click on the root node, click on the ellipses that you see here, the 3 ellipses, and click on the new page here. I'm going to name this page as start page. Click on OK. So that's going to create the page for me, and you start seeing all the properties that you created. So you have a site title and site description. If you remember, we had given a UI hint to optimally to display text area, so that is why you're seeing a text area here. So I'm going to call this as taste trail, and I'm going to give a description here. Right, I'm going to fill in some keywords for SEO as well. Title and the description here. Right, and I'm going to save. So this is automatically saved. Now I can go and publish this page. So that is now my start page is created under the root. The other thing that I need to do is create a website. So I go to settings, and I go to manage websites. I click on create a website, give a name for the site. I call it taste trail. I give the URL. The URL will be the same as this URL, https localhost 5000, and I'm going to select my start page as the one that I created now under the root, and I say create website. Click on create website. So this has created the create website, the website for me. So now I should be able to launch this website. Right, so I'm able to see my the title and the description, but there's some problem with the using statement, so we can go back and correct that. Start debugging here, come back to the index.cs HTML. Yeah, there's some problem with the layout. I think the @ symbol is missing here. Yeah, that's right. So I'm just going to save this, build again quickly. Yeah, the build is completed. I'm going to launch the website again. Yeah, the website is launched, and you can see the title and the description here. I'm just going to quickly go into the inspect mode, and here you can see the entire layout that you created, and you can also see the title and the description under the div tag here. So we have been able to successfully create an empty website from Visual Studio. We were also able to set up the home page. So with that, we will wrap up this episode. I hope this was a great learning experience. Thank you. We'll see you in the next episode.